I met her, I believe, somewhere around that time, and we became cool. And I write poetry, and back then I used to write poems and post on Facebook, and I would tag people that I thought would appreciate it, and she was one of them. So I guess that's how it initially started off as really just friends, like basically platonic friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, artwork? Amir, how did you guys meet? Artwork.
I think they said they couldn't hear you. I just read the chat.
Okay.
All right.
Got that.
All right. What about you, Giovanni? How did you guys meet?
We also met at the wonderful ECSU University,
Yeah.
Liberty City State, Viking Pride.
Viking
Uh,
Pride.
um, no, well, long story short, we had mutual friends, but we never actually met each other. But my best man in my wedding, Kenny, knew her, and he knew her friend. And one day I just asked him to run interference for me so I can talk to her. So, he didn't want to at first because he wasn't really really kicking it with her friend like that no more at the time. But he did it for me. He took one for the team, and the rest is history.
Look how your wife looking at you like, yep, that's how we met.
Nah, the real story is she fainted when she saw me.
Oh, you
Right on. Right on.
All right, KJ and Katina, let's hear your story. How'd you guys meet?
Well, we had something in common. We both went to North Carolina State because I didn't go to Elizabeth City University. I went to North Carolina State University. So that's for number one. But you want to tell them how we met for real?
Again, hello everybody. KJ and we met because my middle son was having some problems on the football field. He had gotten injured, and then he came back a month later and tore his ACL. Mm-hmm. And he had surgery with that and needed to have physical therapy. And so KJ was there at the at Key Fitness when my son had to come and have physical therapy. So we kept eyeballing each other through the glass. I didn't let him know. I didn't let him know. He was like, I don't think you were looking at me. I said, I was. But we just
giving him the eye.
Mm-hmm. So that's how we met. And we finally, I'm going to tell you, the day that I was going up there and I said, I'm going to ask KJ. Well, I didn't know his name at the time. I said, I'm going to ask him if he could show me around the gym while my son was getting physical therapy. And before I could get to do that, he came on out the door and said, excuse me. I'm gonna show you
that Billy D. Williams on
it. Work out while your son is getting physical therapy. So after that, the rest is history.
I am desire, yes. All right, so artwork. How did you guys meet?
I'll let you tell the story.
Oh, she got to pass the mic.
I'm gonna leave out the part that she hates. We actually met.
Probably.
Yeah, that's the good part. We met at Planet Video. I was just in there looking for some videos. Saw her in there, and we had a mutual friend. So when I saw the mutual friend when she wasn't around, I was like, "Hey, who's your friend and everything?" And she basically gave me her number. But I didn't call her immediately or anything. Both of them ended up coming into my job, and I saw her again. And that's when the friend said, hey, I gave him your number and everything. And that's when I reached out to her, when she actually knew who I was. Instead of just being some creep dude that All the shame now.
I just want you to know you just told all your age. Talking about I went to Video Planet. What? That's like saying I went to Blockbuster.
I had Netflix and chill back then.
I
There
won't
wasn't
go
no
say that. I'm like,
Netflix.
dang,
No.
that's a video. God.
You had to go out first before you chill. All right, Sheldon and Arania. Last but not least.
You and Telly gonna be through.
I mean, we grew up in the same neighborhood, so we knew each other since we were little kids. And you have the neighborhood boys. They would do their thing. So I kind of knew, oh, that's my friend, that's Desmond's sister. And never paid that no mind. But we ended up going to the same high school.
You went like this?
How you like, that's how you didn't get out of the girl. Like, whatever, get out of here.
And he did that every single day when he saw me walking from the bus stop. Yeah, that was great.
But we went to the same high school, so we got together in high school. I'll let her get into more detail about that.
So I was interested in him, didn't know he was interested in me, and his best friend hooked us up, and I rang his doorbell, and the rest is
You rang his
I was like ding 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 ding.
We started dating in 1996, and then we moved here to North Carolina in 2004. Got married in 2005, and now the rest is history. So we've
Now
been
the rest is history.
26 years.
And all of this didn't even matter, right?
Yes.
All
so,
right.
Yep. 26 years together, and we still like each other.
Wow! Congratulations.
Relationship goals.
And speaking of 26 years, so let me ask you guys this, and I'm gonna start off with Giovanni on this one. How do you guys deal with temptation within all the time that you guys have been together? I mean, we live in a world where things are always in your face, right? There's videos out there. People are telling you you don't need to do that. You could just hop around. So how do you guys do? I'm just saying, it's stuff that we have to do. It's life, right? So
you mean how do I deal with it? I mean, from a man's perspective.
well, the question's for both of y'all. Because I'm sure both have to deal with temptations.
I just stay home.
Good answer.
I work from home. I do everything from home. I order my groceries on Instacart.
All right. What about you, Miriam?
I mean, yeah, I guess I stay home too, but I've never really been like, once I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. That's it. But I will say, like, we're not really jealous of each other. Like, he's been hollered at since we've been married in front of me, and we just think it's funny. Like, we just laugh about it. So I guess we keep, good humor and everything.
Hey, she got hollered at Walmart by a dude named Sweet Daddy. I'm not lying. If y'all want me to tell that story, I'll tell it. But
tell the story. Go ahead, tell your story.
I got to hear this one.
I gotta hear it too.
Well, she was in Walmart by herself. I wasn't there, and this dude walked up to her with a do-rag with the cape out, had his taco meat out.
Taco meat.
I'm not even. This story is true. I'm not even playing. I'm not even bullshitting. This really happened. The dude walked up to her and said, "Are you married?" And she said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, if you ever mess up, come on over to Sweet Daddy."
He was backing up like this. Come on over to Sweet Daddy.
Oh no!
Hey, I'm happy she came home that day. Sweet Daddy almost took my wife.
What about
Lord. God is good.
What about you, Vinny and Lee? How do you guys deal with temptations?
I kind of agree with Katina.
No, that was.
Oh no.
Miriam. It's okay, girl.
Okay, yeah, I agree with her. I'm probably the same way. Like, I think for me, the most temptation I have is like movie stars. Like, oh, and I'll be like, oh, and just imagine they like, oh shoot.
Y'all got the hall pass for the movie stars? Y'all got the hall pass for that? No? Okay. Sorry. Single person mind frame. Sorry.
No, there ain't no hall passes. No.
So when we met, we went to see, well, not when we met, but we went to the movies one day and we went to go see The Rock. What movie was it? I don't know what movie it was. I just know The Rock was in the movie. And I know I'm a big fan of The Rock. So we have this.
No, he said, What about you, KJ and Katina? How do you guys deal with temptation? Okay, KJ.
No. All jokes aside, though, I'm like Giovanni. I don't do much, but I go to work and I come home because, I mean, all the stuff out there is just trouble. And when I met my wife became my everything. And I'm just not trying to, butter everything up, but she did become my everything. And there really is no temptation for me. There's nothing else out there. So, I mean, just going to work, coming home is it for me. So temptation is pretty much out the window. I'm a more mature man now, so
Nice. What about you, Katina? I know they knocking down your door sometimes.
No. I am like Giovanni's wife. What's your name? Your name? Marion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once I attached to him, I mean, I'm telling you all, you can believe me or not, but he is all I see. He is all I see. Nobody interests me in passing. I mean, I just walk right on past them and stuff. My mom, when she goes out with my sister and I, she said she's like to walk behind us. She said because she sees all the guys who are looking. She said, and y'all two don't even see it. You just, keep right on going. And, that's because I'm not window shopping because
come on now, somebody.
I like that.
I have the finest things in life right here with me. So I don't need to look or be interested in by anybody else. So
I like that statement. I'm not window shopping.
Right.
Yes. That was good. It was good. I've never heard it put like that. What about you, Artwork? What do you, he's like, nope, don't know what you're talking about.
It's kind of blind eye, and I'm more of a introvert anyway. So I'm normally home looking at videos like YouTube, documentaries, playing the PS4 because PS5 ain't in stock right now.
I'm waiting
So just staying out of trouble.
Okay, and what about you, Alicia?
Just being thankful for the man that I have, and
That was so sweet.
yeah.
You said it real sweet.
Hallelujah.
Thankful for the man I have.
He said because God sent him to me. Hallelujah. All
Moss.
right, Sheldon and Arania.
You've been mossed.
Y'all are blind too.
It's not that. It's because he know I'm a little off, so he knows it will go down in a minute. No, we actually talked about something like this before, but the fact that we're friends and we value our friendship, and we wouldn't do anything like that to mess that up, My only competition is Janet Jackson. I don't think she'll be here anytime soon.
I get it.
I know if she step in the room, I don't know what's going to happen, right? But no, we really value what we have, and we just it's almost like blinders, so that I'm not tempted because I'm not looking, right? So I don't see it. Yeah, it's around me, but it's not any interest of mine. Right. So
it has to do with what you value in life, and I value our friendship, and I value all my friendships, highly. So I don't want to do that to my friend. Why do I want to purposely hurt your feelings for something selfish or, an alternative that I have no idea about? It's not worth it. So,
right.
You see that, and then in your mind, you just go through all of calculations like no, that does not make sense.
Not at all.
Does not
Even when it walks by, and it's like
compute.
it's
So you don't even think about it. It's something that's built into what you've been taught and what you value in life. So
Gotcha. Okay, so here's a ha for me, maybe not for y'all. Can you guys name? And I'm gonna start off with Vinny. Can you guys name one thing that you had to learn to live with from your partner?
Ooh.
We all have it. So
I think learning to remember that their feelings and what they're interested in and all that comes with them matter just as much as yours. So I guess patience and understanding, I guess, in a way to make sure that there's some form of balance and things going on in the household and things like that.
Okay. And what about you?
I think for me, the biggest thing is to know that everything doesn't revolve around me. Like he said, he matters.
Tell the joke.
No, he matters to me, and sometimes I have to make sure that I show that more and not just know it as a fact, he knows it, but make sure, I show it more. So like, I'm not the only one living here and he's just somebody in my ear, because I might be in my own little world sometimes. So, but that's definitely something to be mindful of. He's here with me. He's not on the phone anymore. Across where else, he's here with me right now.
Gotcha. And what about you, Artwork?
Living with an extrovert when you're an introvert. So you have to go out. You have to do things. So, just making sure that you're showing them that you actually want to go out with them, that you actually want to show them the world and things like that. So, if you always in your own little clamshell, you have to get out and see the world and make sure that they're getting all the attention that they want. They like to show off.
Go ahead. She's like, wait a minute. Alicia's like, what? Me?
It's learning to live with an introvert who wants to stay in the house and fine with playing the game and just chilling when you're like, look, I just put my dancing shoes on and cut a rug a little bit,
Yeah. Nice. What about you, KJ and Katina? What did you guys have to learn to live with? He turned all the way around.
We got the exorcist going on here.
I know. So what did you guys have to learn to live with?
I can go first.
Okay.
I can go first. I agree with Vinny. Learning that there's another person who is here, and it's not all about me. And you have to sometimes suppress, like I was raised and do things a certain way, and he does things a certain way. And I really had to stop and tell myself at one point, I was like, okay, I can't expect him to change for me because he grew up this way too. So that balance of compromise, that's a really big issue. And if you are dead set that you have to have it your way or no way at all, it's not going to work anyway. Right? I don't care who you with or where you go or anything. You have got to compromise because, and you all, I'm a biblical person. And so scripture tells us to treat others better than you treat yourself. And so in doing that, you have to compromise. You have to meet his needs and he has to meet yours and come to that happy medium.
Amen.
Nice. Good. Look at her just dropping a word. All right. What about Giovanni and Miriam?
I'll go.
ahead,
I
girl.
have to learn to, like, when we have an argument, to let him be in his feelings for whatever time he need. I grew up being able to be mad at a family member and talk it out immediately, and then it's done. He needs time to cool down, and then he can talk about it, and it can be done.
Giovanni.
I just learned that my wife is gonna spend money. You know, I just learned to accept it. You know, she's gonna spend some money. She's gonna get what she wants. Hey, look, it's so bad that my direct deposit just go directly to her. Look, I don't even see it. Look, my job signs right over to her. Like, go ahead. She'll spend it anyway. So I got, I'm hopefully one day I'll be rich. So because this woman like to spend money, so. No, I'm joking, but for real though, I know she likes to, she like good, the finer things. Not really the finer things, but she like what she likes.
Like quality.
So I mean, I just learned to say,
And she should.
No, she deserves the best. My baby deserves the best.
That's a good problem.
Let me get that brownie. Let me get them brownie points back. Let me get them brownie points back. All right, Sheldon and Arania. Oh wow!
I gotta think. I had something, but I mean, I guess for us, I had to understand that we are different people. Like like I'm really the extrovert, he's the introvert, but then sometimes we learn how to just kind of switch that. But I will say that I had to learn that we are different people. We're not gonna like the same things all the time. He's going to have things he wants to do. I'm going to have things I want to do. And sometimes neither of us are going to want to do those things with each other. And so I had to get used to that. I had to like, okay, I got to live with that. So, you don't want to travel? Bye. You want to get back, but in the beginning, I used to, come on, you got to go with me. Why don't you want to go with me? You should do this, you do that. And then he really didn't want to go, but he would go for me. And then I'm like, oh, that's kind of messed up. So, I can go by myself and you're fine with, okay, bye. So we had to learn how to kind of accept our individuality in our couple, in our relationship. So
that's big.
Don't
underestimate
that. And that's where the compromise comes in. And I agree with Katina, with the compromise. Somebody asked us one time what keeps us together. And we looked at each other and one of us said communication and the other one said compromise. And we was like, that's exactly what it is. So, that's our motto. So
I just had to learn to be more vocal with the way that I'm feeling. So if there's something going on, or if I feel a certain way, not to hold it in, but to express it, not immediately, when I say physically, not, pouting or not saying nothing or being silent, but actually talk about it, communicate, and actually be vocal about the way that you're feeling in a way that you want to respond to have a conversation, not an argument. Sometimes that it's tough to learn, but that's what I think the biggest growth has been in regards to what I had to learn.
Okay, so maybe a little a steamy question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. How important is sex in your relationship?
Very important.
I'm talking to everybody, but I figured that the guys would be like, real quick when
And you skipped over me with the last question. I didn't even get to tell my side of the story.
I'm so sorry. Wait, y'all think about how important sex is. Go ahead.
Don't even worry about
it. What it was is that your wife spoke for you. That's what it was.
She spoke so well for the both of us, right?
She spoke so well, I almost heard two voices as one. That's what it was. That was good, right? That was good. All right. So then I'll start off with you, KJ. How important is that?
Well, Lord. I'm a man, and it's very important. I have a beautiful, gorgeous wife who I adore. To the moon and back. So it's very important. And Yeah.
I mean, let's be okay. So before everyone else answers, because Katina, you're next. The thing is, it's not an issue, but it is a topic. You know, like when you're meeting, whether you choose to wait till you're married or test drive
Like
before you get married. Yes, like you did. Absolutely, absolutely. So the point that I'm making is, oftentimes we hear after people get married, especially from my guy friends, after they get married, it's like, well, she gave me everything in the beginning, and now I'm over here like marking off the days on the calendar like I'm in prison till I get some again. So I just wanted to know how important. It's a real question. So, Katina, which you said your husband is all you see. So how important is sex for you?
We still in the honeymoon stage.
Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. What about you, Giovanni and Miriam? How important is sex to you?
Well,
You go first.
you know,
silence.
I like to be broke off quite regularly. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with little Mr. Nasty Time.
Absolutely.
You know, Mr. Nasty Time got to come out every now and then. You know,
I hope Mr. Nasty Time also includes Mrs. Nasty Time too.
Oh, of course.
Okay, just making sure. I'm just gonna make sure.
I mean, think about it. Who don't want to be broke off? I mean,
I don't know, but apparently some people.
I mean, I'll get. I mean, you see some married people. You know, some husbands, but I'm tired, man. My back be hurting. I mean, damn. I don't understand. I mean, sex feels good. Why you don't want to do it?
Well, the thing is, let's be honest. I know we're being funny, but let's be honest, right? Life happens. You're overworked, maybe sometimes underpaid. You have frustrations. You have children. For those of you who have children, and so it's hard to find that time. Right, so that's what I'm asking. Some people go, "Well, I don't have time for sex because we got kids." Wait, go ahead.
There's always time for sex.
Well, my kid.
Ash, we're not supposed to be talking, Ash. We single. Go ahead.
Look, my kids are teenagers, so they already know that damn door closed. Don't you come knocking on that door? Like they don't look to no better. They be like, "You, mom and dad." I'm like, "How you think I made y'all ass?" Shit.
No, they just showed up. They fell out of the sky, but I told them, nah. Oh, nah, I planted those seeds.
I do think it's an important part to bond, though. Like when, especially like in marriage, sometimes you'll hear people say, I'm mad, so he ain't getting none. But I think that has the opposite effect of what you're supposed to be doing.
Totally agree. Good point. What about Sheldon and Arania?
I mean, you want your partner to be satisfied. You know, if you're in a marriage and you committed to the marriage, you want to be able to make sure that the other person is, you take care of their needs and make sure that they're satisfied.
Yeah. And and it's true that life happens, right? And you get busy, you get kids and all these other things, and then it's like, okay, so what now, right? So what do we do? And then you talk about it. I think it's really important to talk about it, especially when those issues come up. You have a conversation. Okay, what are we gonna do? We know what each one of us want. How we gonna make this work? So then you gotta get creative. Sometimes you gotta get spontaneous. And you're right, when the door closed, and our kids are older now, so even right before we came on here, 15-year-old. We didn't get broke off. But we told our oldest, hey Rick, we're gonna be in the room with the door closed, and she was like, and we was like, no. We're gonna be on a podcast, we're gonna be on a show, and so the door be closed, so no noise. She was like, why are you telling me this? I'm like, so then I had to think, because we do close the door And when
Yeah.
it's closed locked, and if the music is going, then you already
Don't come a knocking.
Don't.
Keep walking down the hallway.
Just keep going. Just keep it moving. So, but you have to be creative. All jokes aside, you really have to keep it spontaneous and fulfill each other's needs, because it's very important. It's very vital. And if we're going to go to the Bible, it's in the Bible. So,
Absolutely.
walk in the Word and get broke off, right, Mr. Weeks?
That's right. The Lord said we should get broke off.
Oh my God. I cannot with y'all. All right, Vinny and Lee, you guys are fresh and just starting out. How important is sex for y'all?
Good.
No, I think it's important. It's a very sacred, intimate thing. So I think learning each other's love language is very important. Like that, having that conversation, what is it that you like, or what do they call it? The foreplay that happens way before the day or whatever, the time, like just being with each other, those types of things, So I think that's important for me.
And
sorry,
Vinny, go ahead.
I was about to say also, I think, being faithful, like I tell her quite often, I'm faithful, so all this energy has to go to you.
Amen.
In the battle with nobody else, so it's necessary, so you're that important that I'm making sure that whatever need in that space that is supposed to be between us is strictly for you. So yeah, when it's time to direct that energy, it's time to direct
That was a very classy way to say it. Very classy. Well appreciated. All right, artwork and Alicia.
I'm not going to kiss and tell, so I'm
We
going
know you doing
let
kissing
Alicia
because
take
y'all
this
been
one.
married for together for 15 years, so somebody got to be kissing, even if you're
Yeah,
not
I'm
telling.
gonna let her tell her side of it, because
Oh,
I know mine gonna sound like Giovanni, so I'll let her tell.
That is important, very important.
Very
I do it
important.
when you're just like bonding and just like knowing your partner and just learning how to communicate with each other through, So I agree. It's very important.
Sounds good. So I think two of you said you guys started off as friends. Who were those two? I know Sheldon and Arania, and who's the other one? All right. So what made you say, this friend of mine, maybe we could do more than just friendship? What made? Because especially Vinny, he was like, we were platonic. He made sure he used that word, platonic. So what was it?
I guess we were friends like for years, and I mean, we've even talked about some of her, situations she might have been going through in different relationships.
Degrees of separation. Like he calls it degrees of separation, I guess, because like we knew, like over the years, I think we kind of passed each other a lot, and didn't really know who each other was, like he knew my sister before we were sisters, like a lot of different things, by way of friends and stuff like that, his job. And then when I went to Korea, we were friends then, and then when we came back here, we just kind of linked up through friends again, and so it's just kind of been this, and so I put up a fight. What
you mean you put up a fight?
It was a big deal for me, I think, getting into a serious relationship. Like, I didn't want it. I was very of that.
I think the day that I knew, started seeing her differently, to church with me one Sunday, and I had to wash clothes at my parents' house. So she rode with me, so she wound up coming with me. And
I had no intention of meeting his parents.
it wasn't planned. It was just spur of the moment. Okay, whatever. There was nothing put into it. But seeing her around my family and how they just embraced her so naturally, I think that's the switch that turned on in my head, and I started looking at her
while she was fighting it.
Yeah,
She said, yes, I was still fighting
it. Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Sheldon and Arania? What made you go from, oh, this is my friend to this is my friend?
So I literally was sitting, we were in class together, and this is gonna sound so desperate, but I wanted a boyfriend. I was 16 or 17. And I was like, I want a boyfriend. And I was looking around the classroom and I saw him and I was like, okay. And then I saw another guy and I was like, okay. I saw they both cute. But when I looked at Sheldon, I said, but I know him. I know where he comes from. I know the neighborhood where he grew up. Like I know him. And so that's literally how I chose him. And I went to his best friend and I whispered to him, you know, hey, does Sheldon have a girlfriend? And his best friend screamed across the classroom, hey, you got a girlfriend? And, you know, and then that's pretty good. But really, I didn't know at the same time that he liked me at the same time. So, so that's what made us go from friends to not friends. No,
or more than friends.
Yeah.
And just to add on to that, you know, even further along down the relationship, you know, to where you're going from, you know, high school boyfriend and girlfriend to something that's a little bit more serious. Mm-hmm. We both shared the same values. You know, I found that the values that she had, you know, and the goals that she had aligned with my goals, and you know, she was fun to be around, and was somebody that I could trust, and you know, all those things kind of, you know, make you make that decision to say, okay, you know, this is something that I want to be committed to, and I don't want to lose this. So, you know, all those things kind of just, you know, as we got older, you know, made the relationship more serious.
And, you know, I'm not going to make mention to the fact that I was cute too. You know what I mean? You know. Absolutely. You know? So he couldn't resist. I always joke, he didn't even know he was so in love with me, but he really was. But no.
You couldn't help yourself.
I used to peek at him too. I would get out of class and go peek at him in the gym. When he had gym and he had his shorts on, I would peek at his legs and giggle and go back to class. Like we really feeling each other, you know. So and our personality just went together, and he made me feel safe. So that was kind of where we are.
Yeah.
That was a very good story. And Sheldon, we're gonna have to take a peek of your legs before we get off.
No, that's mine. No.
All right. Well, KJ and Katina, how did you guys know? You know, like KJ, how did you know that Katina was the one? And same question for Katina.
Because my mind frame started to change, you know. I mean, you know, it's no lie, I was a little selfish. I had a different mind frame and everything, but when she came along and started to make me realize that she was there to help me, you know, everything that she does is to help who I am and make me better. And it took a while for me to realize that. Even now, sometimes I have to remind myself of that, because I'm such an emotional person, and everything is always it's against me, it's out to do me harm. But once this woman stayed, and once she, you know, kept saying, no, we're going to continue to do this, and, you know, putting positivity in my ear, which nobody else had ever done before, that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, you know, this is something for me. This is the one for me, and everything like that. And plus, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. So that's that's a positive with that. But yeah, you know, the way that she makes me better is definitely, I mean, that's how I know.
I just want y'all to know that KJ is not saying that just for the show. Okay. I literally remember the first time I said, oh, so tell me about this person that you're gonna marry. And like some of the things he's saying is word for word. He was like, she's just the most beautiful person I saw. She walked into the office and I was like, and I couldn't say anything. And I'm like, Okay, so I just want you guys to know he is not just saying it for the show. He has said this multiple times. Even like
Thank you.
listening to him talk to other people, I'm like, okay. and to the most beautiful woman in the world, to KJ. How did you know that KJ was the one?
Things just lined up. I mean, it was just like pieces just fell together. I felt comfortable with him. I felt like I knew him. We just got along so well. And another thing was he just had that smile, that woo, child and smile. That was just like, oh gosh, you can trust me. And I mean, all jokes aside and everything though, we just meshed. I felt a connection with him that I'd never felt before. And even within a short time period, it was just there, and families got along, and I mean, it was just some key factors that fell into place perfectly. And not professing that we are perfect, we are imperfectly perfect for each other.
Hold on, cuz you said I got a Ray Lewis smile, man.
You say you got a Ray. Let me show you again. There you go, Ray Lewis. Oh man. Okay. What about artwork? How did you know artwork and Alicia? How did you guys know that this was the person you wanted to stay with?
I would say that for me, I could talk to her about anything. Like, she is literally one of my best friends. Like, Giovanni, KJ have been around her, some of my friends from college and stuff like that. Like, I'm not saying she's one of the guys because, she's different and stuff like that or whatever. She's very feminine. But she could hang around all of us guys, and she was just one of us. Like, she could make us laugh and stuff like that, and vice versa. And then, like, when I actually took her to meet my family, like, my dad considers her his daughter and everything. Like, she gets along with my brother, my sister, and even like distant cousins all the way up in New Jersey. Like, even they like her. So, I had no other choice but to like her if everybody else liked her.
All right. And then what about Giovanni and Miriam?
Sorry?
She broke you off, right, Giovanni? And that was it. She was the one.
I was looking at Ashley's cell phone and clothes. Nah, for real though. I know I've been joking around all night, but for real, I mean, one thing to be real transparent, me and Marion is a lot alike. So like, we're only 3 days apart in age. You know what I mean? So,
oh wow.
So I mean, we pretty much grew up the same way. We both got a lot of siblings. Well, no, I ain't gonna say a whole lot. Like my mom got tried, but I mean, we both pretty much grew up the same way. Our older siblings about the same age. Our younger siblings about the same age. We both were like aunts and uncles at like in kindergarten. I mean, it's just like a lot of our life is the same. And I mean, to be real, transparent, like it was rough because we had a kid like within a few months of being together. You know what I mean? So I mean, Moss was there, KJ was there. I mean, so it's like we had our first kid and we were still learning each other. So we still had to learn on the fly. We was only 19 years old, so we had to learn on the fly. And I think all the rough things we went through brought us closer together. And the way I looked at it, I was like, I put in too much time and I grew too much with her to let somebody else get my hard work. Just like like a slot machine.
She's like, yes,
like,
hard work.
Like if you ever been, you ever been to Vegas and you put all those coins in the slot machine And then when you walk away, somebody put one coin in the slot machine and hit the jackpot. Oh, that wasn't gonna be me.
I feel you. I put in time.
You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna put in all the coins for somebody else to hit the jackpot, on the slot machine. So that's how I looked at it. I put in too much time, and my father always told me, like, you don't want another man in the house with your kids. So, I had kids with her, so I was like, man, I gotta do the right thing. I mean, it's not that I just married her because she had my kids, but that was something that contributed to our journey and learning each other and stuff. Look at me using words like journey, but yeah, for real though.
All right, what about Vinny and Lee? I know you guys aren't married yet, but you said we trotting down, we planning. I remember that clearly, right? So what is making you say, you know what? I just want to be off the market because there may be other things out there, but what I have is the one I want to be on in the long run with.
For me, he gets me without me having to over explain. Like, he understands, like, with very little, like, of me explaining, or no, I got it, I understand, or before I even say anything, he knows what I mean. You know what I mean? We have we're the oldest of our siblings. We understand that a lot, and we just have a lot of the similarities in how we grew up, and like you said, like what you believe in and your morals and the things you stand on. That was very important for me. Looking at somebody who I know I want to have kids with one day. What type of man and father will they be to our children? And that's important, of being ready and settling down. Okay, I can see myself with this person. I trust them completely with everything that I have. So that is very important.
Nice.
Yeah.
What? He act like he just met you. Oh my God, that was nice. She loves you, Vinny.
Yeah, no, I love it too. It's really simple. Ever since that switch got turned on after my parents' house, it just never went off. So I'm one of those. Once my mind is made up, like, it would take an act of God to change my mind. So,
aw, that's so sweet. And she just looked at you the way you looked at her.
Yeah.
I'm the one. That's how she looked.
Yeah, truly.
All right. So did I ask everybody? Because you got your answers were so good. I lost track of who I was asking anymore. Everybody answered. Great. All right. So if there was one piece of advice that you could give to the singles out there, the divorcees, the singles, the hopeless romantics, the I'm never gonna settle down brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
What would that piece of advice be? And I'm gonna start off with artwork.
I would say to find someone that you are compatible with. You could think someone is attractive all day long. If you're not getting along, if you can't mesh well together, I don't see it working out. I could be wrong. Some people could just be stubborn enough to stay together.
No,
not likely.
Stubborn enough to stay together, but I think compatibility is one of the most important.
Yeah.
Is that your answer too? Look at that artwork, and Mrs. Artwork was like, "Yep, we agree."
Everyone, you just might have to dig a little deeper to find your one, but that one is out there. Don't give up on love.
Look at her. Don't give up on love. All right, Giovanni and Miriam, you have one piece of advice.
I would say, just relax and let it happen organically. Like, don't force anything. Don't try to force anyone to love you. Don't try to force anyone to be with you. Don't ever force anyone to want to. Don't ever force anybody to marry you. That's number one.
Yes.
You see that happen a lot. People be like, you know, I gotta get married. You know, nah. Whenever it happens, it happens.
Right.
And you know, like Ma said, the woman's supposed to your wife is supposed to be, and your husband is supposed to be like your best friend, like an old reliable Cadillac. You know, just you know,
Why gotta be an old Cadillac? Can it just be a Cadillac?
you know, like your favorite pair of pants, you know, your favorite shirt, you know, it just feel right, you know. So
Like some socks when your feet are cold.
that's right, you know, that's how I got to be, you know, like that woman, that man got to feel like you, like I can't live without it, you know.
I think you have to find someone, number one, that balances you.
Mm.
That's your yin to your yang, because that person has to be able to pull you back when you're in left field. Because Giovanni pulls me back all the time. I'll be ready to go off, and he's like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. No, we're not doing that. So you have to find someone that's your yin to your yang, basically. Yeah.
Nice. KJ and Katina.
I'll let you go first this time, my king.
Oh, my king. Coming to America. Sexual chocolate. What's your advice?
But I would want to tell people that Black love and marriage, it can be done.
Yes.
A lot of times, what we see a lot of is especially from what we see on TV videos or whatever, it's us putting each other down and it's not going to work. We see these $1 million divorces and we see things like that, but it can be done. Is it easy? I'm gonna be honest. It's not going to be easy all the time. You know, it's not going to be that like you see on TV, the BET movies, everything in slow motion every day. Like, oh, hey, I mean, it's not going to be that all the time, but it can work. Just as the previous couple said before me, just find that yin to your yang. I love when you said that, you know, somebody that balances you. And once you put in that work, yes, it can work. It can be a beautiful thing. So you don't have to look at what society is trying to paint Black love to be, is who gonna hurt who first, and we out here trashing each other. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, couples up here just proving to you that it can be done. So that's my advice to the world.
Yeah.
Katina.
I would say to remember that this is a choice. Like love is not just something that is just happening or whatever. It is a choice. It is, we make a choice every day to keep loving this person. We make a choice every day to stand by this person. We make a choice. And once that choice is made, I mean, you just do whatever you have to do, because this is my choice. This is my person. This is my choice. And it's not anything happening to me or, you know, stuff like that. Oh, I'm not, love didn't just pop up and happen and stuff. We made choices to love each other. And we just have to remember that even in those choices, like KJ said and others said, times are going to get hard. Times are going to get tough. But you have to remember that you made a choice to love this person, to honor this person, to be with this person. And I think that when that is at the forefront, that kind of puts things into perspective. Like, no, this is not going to happen. I chose this, and we're getting through it.
And also, fellas, if you ever come to that fork in the road, you're trying to figure out what's wrong or what's right, go to work and take your ass home. That's all I got.
Facts upon facts. Facts upon facts.
Order your groceries on Instacart.
Why you guys make it sound like you have to hide under the house? Don't hide under the house. But, all right, Vinny. What advice do you have, Vinny and Lee? What advice do you have for couples?
I would say to get out of your way, get out of your own way. When I talked about how platonic you were, like I would literally tell her to go out and meet somebody. Like that's how platonic we were, and really wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for nothing. She wasn't looking for nothing. Like we was staying in Elizabeth City, and she would come to Raleigh and spend a night, sleep on the couch, and I never thought about making a move. She was really just the homie, you know. So when, like I said, you know, the switch and all that happened, it was so off guard, and I was so surprised. I didn't fight it neither. So that, I think that's the thing to get out of the wrong way. Your type may not be what you're meant to be married to. That may be a thing also. You know, to keep your eyes open, and sometimes you'll like the surprise that you get, and that wind up being the one you spend your life with.
This might be a little bit off track, but I think that you have to make a choice to love the person as well, but you have to make a choice to want to be loved too. That's something that I struggle with, you know, like God bless me with this. I do deserve to be loved like this, you know, so it's okay. You know, stop having these crazy thoughts. It's okay to embrace that. So it's okay to fully embrace giving all the love that the person is giving to you. Just soak it all in. Don't be afraid, don't be or whatever. Just soak it all in and love that person back just the same. So making that choice as well.
Yeah.
And Sheldon and Arania.
I got a whole list.
Go ahead with your list, sis. You've been you and Sheldon have been married the longest out of everybody on here. So
I would say a couple things. Do not make divorce the topic. That's number one. Number two, you have to be 100-100. It's not 50-50. You have to both.
Yes.
Another thing is, for you singles out there, you have to be whole before you meet who you want to marry. You cannot expect your spouse to fill a void. You have to be 100. That's the best advice I could give. And got to communicate. You have to compromise. And I agree with, you know, allowing yourself to be loved and loving the other person. You know, love your spouse. So that's what I have.
That was, you set this whole podcast on fire with that thing.
Now I gotta follow that, right?
Yeah, you
go ahead. How you gonna do it? How you gonna do it?
Nah, you have to be committed to being committed. You know, a lot of times people think that, you know, marriage is something that can be thrown away, and you know, they don't value the commitment that they make to the other person. So you have to know who you are. You have to know what you want. You have to find the people that align with the things that you want out of life. And if you feel in your heart that this is the person, and you know, you want to be together, you have to be committed to making that work. You can't throw it away, you know, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be committed to that, and make sure that you communicate when things are wrong, and you make sure that you celebrate when things are right.
Yeah. And another thing I would say is, you know, marriage is not easy, but it doesn't have to be hard at all.
Right.
It does not have to be hard. So.
And marriage doesn't fix a relationship.
No.
If your relationship was rocky beforehand, fix that first before you make that commitment.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All great advice. I'm sure Ash can agree for us singles here on the podcast. I definitely feel inspired. You know, maybe a year from now we'll come back and I'll be with my yin yang peace partner as well, right? So I want to thank you all for coming and joining us and showing us that Black love still exists.
Yes.
Love still exists, but Black love exists, because so often we're just watching, you know, people fighting, people cheating, and just really people hurting and giving us the wrong impression of what love is. And each of you with your different stories, you know, really, really have at least inspired me that there is still hope out there. So we have a question we could take real quick. And the question is, what is a soulmate? Does one exist? Is this a true term?
Yes. You can have multiple soulmates too. Oh, I'm saying. My bad.
No. Go ahead, single woman.
No, I mean, I just believe like you can have like friendship soulmates. You have intimate soulmates. I mean, it's just I mean, I just feel like your soul is tied to certain people. It is what it is. You're gonna stumble across them one way or another. So I do believe soulmates are real. To answer the first part of the question.
And that soul tie is a real deal, though, right?
Yeah.
So soul ties go deeper than
It's
just,
deep.
you know, that who are you connecting yourself with? So when folks out there just having sex with random people, you are tying your soul to all these people.
Yeah.
You don't know what that person is taking from your soul, and you don't know what that person is dropping into your soul. So you have to be careful who you connect yourself with. So yeah, there are soulmates, but who are you connecting with? You know, who are you ending up with? So
nice. Anyone else want to give their rendition of a soulmate? No,
I got mine. So exactly. That was one of the things that that just drew me really, really. I mean, it was like a steady pull with KJ. It was like I felt something in here that just drew us. And like I said, when you have things that are meshing and everything is aligning, and I mean even down to conversations, like, you know, when I was going to say something to him and he said the exact same to me and we had never spoken. It's just, you know, and when we were talking, people had mentioned before about being able to talk to, this is my best friend. Like, I talk to him about anything, and sometimes we don't agree. Sometimes we don't agree, but we still have to talk about it. And, you know, and I mean, it's just, and I know, like, oh gosh, here goes something right here KJ not gonna like, but we have to get it out. And I feel, I don't know about KJ, I feel so much closer after those situations where we talk and get it out and stuff like that. So I would say yes. I would say he is my soul connection. I mean, this was just something that was deep within that I can't describe any other way.
Yeah.
You know what she said. What she said. Well, again, this has been such a wonderful experience to just really be inspired by different kinds of love, and just something as simple as, well, what I'm hearing is that person you want to come home to tell about your day, to laugh, you know, and just even if we're disagreeing, you know, just working things out with and just choosing to love. So I thank you all for coming on and sharing your experiences and inspiring some of us, as you see in some of the comments, to just fall in love again. So thank you all, and we hope that 10 years from now you guys are still talking about your wonderful relationship and your Black love. All right, so good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Do not miss out the Good God Experience.